All right, we're going to call to order the March 27, 2025 regular meeting of the Board of Ethics. This is a hybrid meeting. We're all meeting in person in the Common Council chambers, but we're also recording this via Zoom so that we can see if any residents or members of the public would like to attend. I'd like to do the roll call. So if everyone could just say their name and say here so we could take our find out who's here and who's not to make sure we have a quorum. Sorry, closest to me.
Okay, I'm Pat Tony here.
Catherine Williamson.
Patricia Agudo here.
Amy Ayala here. Michelle Sawyer here.
Okay, so we have 5 members, so we have a quorum. The first item on the agenda is to review the minutes from our last meeting of February 27th of 2025. And right now we have 4 members. Everyone can look at it. 4 members can vote. That'd be Michelle, Pat, and Amy. Catherine cannot because Catherine was not at the last meeting. So if anyone has any corrections they'd like to make, please let me know and I can handwrite them in and then make the changes. And then you guys can vote on finalizing these minutes. And if there's no issues, then we can just approve the draft form into the final form. And just for the record, our minutes are 3 pages. Everyone take their time, no rush. Does anyone have any revisions or proposed changes?
Nope.
Okay, so will somebody make a motion to approve the minutes as they currently stand for someone who is at the last meeting?
Motion to approve.
All right, Pat Agado makes the motion, and all in favor? Second, thank you, Michelle. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that's 4. That's unanimous. Thank you, Catherine. So the minutes have been approved. And again, for the record, those updated minutes, even though there's no change in them, will still be updated on the website shortly. Next on the agenda is old business. Discuss the Board of Ethics slides in the accompanying education program. I just wanted to give everyone an update. I believe all of the video presentations are now done. I need to double check it. And once it's confirmed, I will certainly let everyone know. Amy and Catherine came in and knocked theirs out this week, which was great. And again, I think we're done with all of them. I'll let everyone know. If we are missing one, I will ask somebody to come in and shoot that video, but I believe we have them all done. And now the next step is to get them posted, logged onto the city website so that people have an opportunity to review them. Work with the mayor's office and IT to get that next step done. Anyone have any comments or anything like that?
One comment in our paragraph, I know I have been delinquent on that, going to submit some ideas that you would maybe be talking with IT and HR about how to roll out the training. Did anybody submit?
No, I think we decided we were gonna talk about it at this,
Okay.
at the next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's.
Because we didn't want to have
written that
a
we were going
violation
to,
of
put in
potential
some
seen as a
ideas.
meeting.
Okay.
That may need to be changed.
So I mean, just please go ahead, everyone, say what you need to say about that, and then we can discuss it further. So the floor is open to anyone on the board, please.
It's
Okay.
Did anyone have any ideas about that?
Yeah, I mean, does anyone have any ideas, or do you want to like think about it a little bit more and then maybe write something up so that everyone can take a look at it, before we speak. If it's at our next meeting or at some other point, you know, because we're gonna upload the videos. And,
It might be better to have the videos uploaded so we can see what it looks like and
sure,
then,
Again, give it
then,
here.
because then we can look and figure out like what we feel like needs to be moved from there.
I unfortunately, I don't have to run these meetings very often. I did jump out of order. We do have a public participation, so we could just, if someone could make a motion to take public participation out of order, so we can do it now, because I jumped it by mistake.
Excellent.
Great, and can everyone vote on that? Great. So Simon, do we have anybody on that's attending via Zoom that wants to speak?
At the moment, there's nobody at home.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're almost 10 minutes into the meeting, so I'm gonna close public participation. I assume they would have been here by now if they wanted to speak. And so we're gonna move on to new business. And so the first item under new business is discuss and vote on a new chair of the Board of Ethics. So just so everyone's aware, because a lot of you are fairly new, we have a chair of the board. It's voted on by the Board of Ethics by a majority vote. And up until recently, we had a chair. Michael Church had been the chair from as long as I've been on here, since 2017. Michael's no longer on the board, so we're short of a chair. And the chair is responsible for kind of leading the group and running these meetings, so I don't have to go and put these items out of order when I run through them. So if anyone would like to make a nomination of themselves or somebody else as the new chair of the Board of Ethics, I open up the floor to all of you to make those nominations or make your pitch for yourself or somebody else, and then we can have a vote on that.
I would like to make a nomination.
Okay, go ahead.
And I would like to nominate Pat Agudo, because I believe she reflects, someone who is enthusiastic and maintains a good knowledge base and would do a very excellent job, I believe, as the chair of the Board of Ethics.
Okay. Does anybody else want to throw your hat in or somebody else's hat in as the chair? Okay. And will somebody make a motion to vote on the nomination of Pat Agudo as the new chair of the Board of Ethics?
So much.
Okay, Michelle moves. Can we have a vote? Again, majority rules. So all those in favor of Pat Agudo being nominated and approved as the new chair of the Board of Ethics, please raise your hand and say aye. Okay, that's unanimous. Pat, do you approve?
I do.
You can
Yes,
vote,
I just
it's
didn't
okay.
know if I could raise my
You can
hand.
vote. Yeah.
You vote for yourself.
You can vote for
You
yourself.
can vote for yourself, Pat. It's
Okay, well,
okay.
it's unanimous. So
As soon as
congratulations,
you want
Pat.
to do that, Pat.
Okay. Next on the agenda is discuss and vote on revisions to 3211 of the Code of Ethics, which is entitled Subsequent Employment. So as you can see on the last page of the agenda, it's page 6. What we're referring to is 3211 subsection B. And basically what we're doing here is we're creating a very limited exception to the barring of subsequent employment until 1 year after your stint with the city. And we want to extend a very brief exception to just the medical director that serves in the health department. And the reason for that is that the city has had a very difficult time filling this role. This is a person, usually, hopefully a physician of some kind, or someone who has a medical degree, that serves the city as the medical director. And a lot of the time, we have somebody that kind of puts the city second because they have their own practice and things of that nature. We have somebody right now that would like to serve. He's retired. He has a wealth of experience. And currently he's working on the Board of Health, which I think is an advantage in that situation because he's now familiar with all the intricacies of the health department, having worked on the board. And he'd like to switch over to medical director. And of course, in most situations, there is this bar from doing that. And again, we're only seeking it for the medical director position because the city has had a history of having problems filling this role. And again, this is the person that's in charge of trying to push health policy for the city. So it's an important position. So as you can see on page 6 of the agenda, there is a red line, and I'll just read subsection B for the record, and then everyone can, and then I'm going to keep quiet. Everyone else can speak about this. 3211 subsection B, again, this was amended last in September 24 of 2019 when the entire code was rewritten. Subsection B, no agency shall employ any individual who has served as an officer of the agency during the preceding 12 months, or any immediate family member of an individual who has served as an officer of the agency during the preceding 12 months. And the proposed revision for you all to discuss and vote on is, notwithstanding the other provisions of this code, the medical director shall be exempt from this restriction. And again, that would allow the person who currently wants to serve on this role to do this, because again, he's serving on the Board of Health. He wants to resign from the Board of Health and take on this important position that nobody is filling right now. So that was the reason for this recommended change. And again, can't stress this enough. This is the only exception, is for the medical director. So
Should that be stated somewhere?
it says, notwithstanding, the medical director shall be exempt from this restriction. It's the only, we're limiting it to the medical director only. So
Meaning any rationale for why just that position?
just that, yeah. Well, the rationale is that we can't fill the position that we need to.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to annotate anything there.
And
I
also-
mean, you can't get too specific, because then I guess there'll be an exception for everything.
Exactly, that was the fear was
How
that,
does anybody else feel about
yeah.
that?
So please, go ahead. I'm gonna open up the floor to everyone to speak and, go ahead.
Is this meant to be a permanent exemption?
Yes,
Okay, so not just for this particular.
not just for
individual,
this one. This
Going
is,
forward, it will stay.
right, this,
Okay.
what we're
this
encountering
position.
right now has been a historical problem.
Okay.
From what I've been told, one, we can't fill the position, and two, when we do fill the position, a lot of the time, it's back burner to something else. And
Right.
we don't want that. This particular person that wants this position is retired, and this is the position that he wants to fill.
Okay.
So just
Yeah.
clarification, this is a paid position.
Yes,
It's an employee. And so he would resign as a member of the health department and would become a paid employee
correct.
as the medical director, and then he would be replaced on the,
Right, he would have to resign. You cannot serve on the Board of Health and be medical director, so he'd have to resign and then be appointed there, and then that person, he would have to be replaced on the Board of Health. And from what I've been told, historically, it's easier to replace a member of the Board of Health than it is the medical director.
That makes sense. Okay.
And just so everyone understands the process, if you approve this either as written or with changes, it then goes on to ordinance committee. Ordinance committee will then review it. They'll make changes. It will then go to a public hearing. If that goes past the public hearing, then it would go to common council. So this is just the first step of at least 3 more steps after this. Or if this was to be changed.
I have no objection.
it sounds like it's in the best interest of
Nothing
the
else
city,
there.
so.
Okay, so so let's start with this. Does anyone have any recommended revision or changes to the language as drafted?
No. No.
Okay, does somebody want to make a motion to approve this language and send it on to the ordinance committee for their consideration, review, and recommendations?
Motion to approve.
Okay, does anyone second?
Second.
Okay, and can we have a vote on all 5 members that are sitting here about whether you, if you vote to approve this recommended change as written and send it on to ordinance committee, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so that's unanimous. Great, thank you. Let's see what else we have here. Does anyone have any, I mean, there's nothing on the discussion section. Does anyone have any discussion items that they would like to speak about? Just, you know, I mean, as it pertains to items on the Board of Ethics or anything like that.
It's nice to meet you all.
Excellent.
Great to be
Our
together.
first in person.
Yeah, I mean, just for the record, this is the first time the Board of Ethics has met in person since probably early 2020. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so this is great.
Yes,
Wow,
it is.
absolutely.
All right, so the next section is executive session. And we're gonna have to go into executive session, but we can't do that until we have a vote to go into executive session. And just so, we have to give a reason to go into executive session. I know none of you have done this before. So we have to move to go into executive session for the purpose of considering recently received ethics complaints. So I need somebody to move to enter into executive session. I need a second, and then I need a vote from the group. So we can then go into executive session. We will go into an antechamber room where we will be discussing this in confidence without this being recorded. And then no votes will be taken in there. We will come back out. We will advise that no votes have been taken. We will then move to adjourn the meeting because after that, we just have to adjourn. So would somebody move to enter into executive session?
I Catherine move that we move into executive session.
Okay, and will somebody second that?
A second.
Okay, and can we have a vote of the 5 full members of the Board of Ethics? And if you agree to go into executive session, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we're gonna be going into executive session. We're gonna be going into that room, so for speaking in confidence, and when we're done, we will come out without making any motions or votes. And then we'll come out and adjourn the meeting, but we have to discuss these issues in there. Okay.
Oh, I'm not on the screen.
Was that?
Oh,
Your slide.
sorry.
The Board of Ethics has exited executive session. No actions or votes were taken during executive sessions. No motions were made. So now we are on to the last item on our agenda, which is adjournment of the meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I motion to adjourn this meeting.
Okay, any seconds?
Just second.
All right, do we have a vote?
Aye.
It's unanimous. All right. Thank you very much, everybody.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.